I'm hitting record now. Okay. Yeah. So you think Adventure Time is on HBO Max?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably true, but I gotta tell you something. HBO Max will take down a show for no godly reason. That's the show you most heard of all your entire life.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't ever rely on it. I gotta assume it's not on there until proven otherwise.
I felt that Scooby Doo should have been on there because I remember when HBO Max was first introduced. When I was scrolling through the Cartoon Network tab, it was like 50% of it was Scooby Doo shit. So I was like, "There's no way,
right.
There's no way that they would take off Scooby Doo. That's a moneymaker, baby. It's still super popular, but no." So
only thing that's on here is Scooby Doo, the Trick or Treat movie from 2022 with the sexy black lady.
Okay.
And fucking Scoob, dude. And fucking Scoob.
Okay.
It's the only Scooby Doo things on there, which makes no goddamn sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. HBO Max is such a good thing. If you I love to watch when I'm not watching cartoons. I love to watch a nice drama series.
Yeah,
right?
like that to watch actual HBO shows, plus movies. In general, movie, and I believe it still has a lot of the Studio Ghibli stuff. So, if you are an animation fan, there's that. But
it's so fucking stupid how the Warner Brothers have just said, "Yo, what if we just took our stuff over here, put it on Netflix?" I said, "Ooh, what if I kill you? What the fuck do you mean if you take it off?"
Yeah, dude, streaming sucks.
I don't know,
dude. Well, good thing it paid off so well for that. I mean, this whole HBO Max thing went so well for Warner Brothers Discovery. So,
yeah, they did. It is because they ruined HBO Max was literally the best streaming service, and then it says, "Ooh, can we ruin it?" And I was like, "Can you please not?" Can you please not? And they're I wanna.
Yeah, and they destroyed the entire industry. Not just Cartoon Network, but the whole animation industry is completely destroyed. So good. It's great.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think sometimes, I can't say it. Never mind. Luigi's about to get released. A lot of the charges on Luigi got dropped, so I'm hoping he gets out and does the John Wick. I'm thinking I'm back, and you can take what you think I mean by that, whichever way you want.
That's
not confirming or denying anything.
Yeah, what Luigi are we talking about? We could be talking about the Mario Galaxy movie.
Not Mario, bro. We could be talking about Mario Galaxy, dude.
Yeah, we could be talking about that one. Charlie Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
It could be anything. Ooh, who do you want to voice Wario? Speaking of,
I don't know honestly. People have joked Danny DeVito, because Charlie Day is already there, but I don't know honestly.
I kind of want it to be someone of not Danny. I like Danny DeVito. I think he's a little old. I kind of would be vibing with Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong.
Shit,
it should be what the hell is his name from I Think You Should Leave?
You mean the John with the gun,
No. I mean the main guy from I Think You Should Leave.
Oh, you mean Tim? You mean Tim Robinson?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't think you meant.
No, because most of the time when they choose a voice, it does not matter the personality or the character of the person doing the voice of these characters in the fucking Mario. I mean, fucking Chris Pratt is Mario, which I mean, to be fair, Mario is the most milquetoast video game character of all time.
Yeah, so. he's a church chud.
Yeah, Mario's Catholic. Okay. He is Italian, so
former Scientologist. Okay, I thought you meant Connor O'Malley.
Oh, Connor O'Malley's a really good one. That would be for.
It's oh, hello, Mario. Yeah. You would have died. You wanted me to kill you, Mario.
Yeah, that'd be great. I didn't think of an intro for this one. It's Cartoon Buffoons. I'm Wyatt, a member of the Anunnaki, and who is here with me today as always.
Hello, I'm Morgan, and I made sushi out of Jabberjaws.
Oh, shit.
Also, you can't be saying that, white baby. You can't be saying you remember the Anunnaki, baby.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, we'll talk about that whole...
Yeah.
Those shenanigans in this episode, talking about Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated. One of the only Scooby Doo shows...
worth a damn.
Made for, I guess it is Warner Brothers Animation, not Cartoon Network Studios, but we cheat sometimes and just have things that, I mean, we talked about fucking those fresh TV shows for the past couple episodes, so whatever. And we will be talking about the other Scooby Doo stuff. I have no idea if we're gonna actually talk about what's that one show that everybody hit, Velma.
No. I'm making an executive decision right now. Fuck no. I'm not giving Mindy Kaling any more attention than she fucking deserves, dude. Fuck her.
No, I mean...
Also, she's not problematic, by the way. I want to be clear. She's not problematic. I just hate that... You know what? I don't want to get into the racial politics of her. Let's keep going.
Yeah, that's fine. So, we're talking about Mystery Incorporated. It's the show that came right after What's New Scooby Doo, which we have not talked about. You know, we talked a little bit about the era right before that because we did Zombie Island like a long time ago. This is the second time we're returning to Scooby Doo and doing like Mystery Incorporated because this show began airing at the same time as a lot of shows in 2010, Adventure Time, which don't worry, we'll get to it. And then what is it? Generator Rex, I believe, and Ben 10 Ultimate Alien.
Peak. Dude, can we just skip everything else and talk about Generator Rex? Peak, bro.
Yeah, what a crazy...
entertain me.
What a fucking crazy 2010, you know, like, or years.
Yeah.
Like, 2010, like, Adventure Time, this, Generator Rex, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, which I have no opinion on because I've never seen it. You know, a regular show, just like a lot of stuff that's like very important coming out this year. I don't know, maybe Mad TV.
Yeah, dude, honestly, across the world, Comrade W. I'm sorry, I know that's weird, but like, I don't know. I was thinking about that. Like, damn, dude, it was just peak everywhere. It was peak everywhere you could see.
When we were 15, that's the last time things were good.
Dude. No, fuck you. No, but like the thing is though, whenever something like this, man, I remember when TV used to be peak, and they talk about Generator Rex or Comrade W or Adventure Time or Mystery Incorporated. I want to go, one, you're a fucking a thankless asshole, fuck you. But also, I'm like,
but you're also
spitting
correct,
just like a little, like a spitting a little bit, like. Cause fuck, man. I guess whatever the year that Comrade or Build and Craig of the Creek were airing on TV is the second one.
That's pretty good, yeah. That's pretty good. That's the year that Adventure Time ended. So
yeah, so I was free from the evil and I got to enjoy.
Right. Yeah, I remember. I'll talk about it. I'll probably talk about it when we get to that point in our Adventure Time. Watch through, like, look through, whatever. But I remember there was like a huge gap between the final episode and the episode right before it, and I just remember seeing that like second to the last episode, having not watched the show since like season 5, and being so fucking confused as to what in God's name is happening, what the stakes are, like what is, like, why everything is happening, you know? So
I remember talking to you about that. I remember because I was watching it the entire time, and I remember you like putting in the chat like, "Hey, what the fuck is happening in Adventure Time?" I remember I was like really bitter back then. I was like, "Don't fucking bother. Who gives a shit?"
Yeah.
Because listen, look, unlike a lot of like I think very intelligent and cool Zoomers, right? You guys kind of got in late. Like you came in, you swooshed in late. I was watching it the whole time, and it sucked. Like, not the show, the experience of watching Adventure Time the entire time. So is what I'm saying.
Are you saying
like
me?
Being
because
7
I watched it when it Like
no, not you. No,
right.
but like by Zoomers, I mean like literally people that were like in 2018 were like 7,
right?
That like came in or like 10 and like were like, oh yeah, I just started watching the show and now I'm cognitive and it's ending. That's the end of Peak. And I was like, well, no, if you remember, Finn had his like manosphere arc and it sucked.
Right?
Like,
yeah, that's why I stopped watching the show is because of that. So I was just like, which again we will talk about when we get to Adventure Time more in detail. But this show, this definitely was like. It was like a part of that package of like me in 2010 really getting into caring about cartoons on TV. You know, you go through sort of the beginning of your teenage years. You think that everything that you liked as a kid was gay now and, you know, like Pokemon or whatever. And now that you're a little bit older and a little bit less insecure... You know, I know for me, like, that's basically turning 15. I became a lot less insecure in my hobbies and everything. That's when I became a lot more aware of what was airing on TV and, like, caring about that and, like, following new releases. I remember before this show came out, you know, kind of, like, being excited for the idea of a more story-driven Scooby Doo show, just because I thought that What's New Scooby Doo was so fucking bland and boring that it would just like made me dislike Scooby Doo altogether. Now I probably wouldn't be that judgmental towards it, but I still have no desire to really like rewatch What's New Scooby Doo.
I think it has a Chutes and Ladders. Sorry, it has like a Chutes and Ladders effect to me, where I think What's New Scooby Doo's theme song is so good that the show being mid makes me angry. Right. I think if a theme song is too good and the show's too nothing, I get mad. Because Simple Plan put their fucking cock, balls, and dick into that fucking theme song. What's New Scooby Doo? We're coming at you. Like that shit goes crazy.
But yeah, when I asked like, what was your perspective on this show before it came out, or like while it was airing?
Cool. Well documented from our Zombie Island episode. I was in the hospital as a child.
Right.
And when I was in the hospital, I did a Scooby Doo marathon, and they had Cartoon Network on because it's a children's hospital. And I came out of that place hating Scoobert Doobert Doo with everything in my body. So when the show's announced like this, I ain't watching no motherfucking Scooby Doo show. I hate that little motherfucker. You can't make me. And then I sat down and watched a few episodes, and I regret to inform you, I saw that it was peak.
Yeah.
I was like so taken aback because I just didn't like Scooby Doo. I thought Scooby Doo was very boring, which would be correct because a lot of the Scooby Doo movies were not good. Some of them were pretty good, but a lot of them weren't. But so I was like, oh, what's this? And I watched it. I'm like, this art style looks familiar. Like, oh, this is really funny. It's so funny and it's so different, you know? It's so different, but also still deeply inspired from the beginning. So I remember just being like a huge fan of it from the rip and just like really enjoying every part of it. And like, I became really into it. I really don't think I saw the last episodes when it was airing. I think this is the first time I actually like seen them this time around.
I
was like super
remember,
excited for this.
I remember them airing because that was like by that point I was on Tumblr, you know, because this show went for a decent amount of time. It was like 2013.
Yeah, it really did
before it ended. So I remember being like when it ended, it felt very satisfying to me as you know, a teen or whatever, as opposed to sometimes shows just kind of come and go and you lose track of them or whatever. Whereas like this, again, like I remember seeing, not to get too ahead of things, but I remember seeing like people on Tumblr when the episode aired posting that clip of like the Nazi robots killing Marcy. And being like, holy fuck, I can't believe that has happened in a Scooby-Doo show.
Dude, you're so woke, bro.
What's
you
that?
should call her hot dog water. You're so woke.
Well, that's
You're so woke.
Sure, I know her name is but that's what Velma calls her. You know.
Yeah, because Velma's...
I know.
I always feel that... The people on Tumblr, I remember that used to get mad when you called her hot dog water. I'm like, you guys are so real. They were so real. Because, like, yeah, it is dehumanizing. But also, it's actively funny.
It is pretty funny.
Like, it's actively funny. They're like...
They're just such a stupid name that I can't, like, you know... It's like, clearly it's not the name of the character. But it is funny that like looking her credits are still in every episode. It's still like Hot Dog Water, Linda Cardellini, which by the way,
I just think it's because. Go ahead. That's so funny.
Well, that's Velma from the live action movie. So I just think that's
yes.
Like
Cool... there's a lot of that. We'll talk about that later. But there's a lot of that in the show. But yeah, I was like super excited for the show. I was like in the fandom sphere for it. On Tumblr, we're getting to the point where like I was in the fandom sphere for a lot of the shows we were watching now.
Yeah.
So we get the Young Justice. I'll talk about how I got death threats. But anyway, yeah, that's it. How did you feel? How was this show when it was airing for you?
Yeah, like I said, I was kind of like keyed into it before it came out. And then I remember seeing like some promotional stuff for the show before it came out. It might have been a talk show. I can't remember whom it was. Maybe it was like Conan or something, where they were talking about some of the, like they were talking to like a director or producer on the show or whatever, and they showed a clip from the end of the first episode where the doctor or the professor like at the school is revealed to be the monster. And then they're like, why would a teacher need to like and have money, need to like steal money to survive? And then it just cuts to his like annoyed face, and then the Mystery Incorporated go, oh wait, we understand.
Oh wait, no, it makes sense.
Like they understand that he's horribly underpaid, and I was like, that's funny. Like that just stuck in my head as like I remember seeing that joke before the episode aired, and then watching the show and being like, oh yeah, this is a lot more like, it's a lot more dense and cynical and kind of comedy focused compared to, I know it's sort of considered like, oh, it's more dark and serious, but it is also more funny than the usual Scooby Doo was, because
it wasn't really funny.
Yeah, it just wasn't very funny. Like even old Hanna-Barbera Scooby Doo, like back in the 60s, was funny in a certain, maybe like for that time or whatever, but What's New Scooby Doo is very mellow. Like it's just kind of like quaintly like silly Wyatt? Or whatever. I don't know how to describe it without making it sound like complete shit.
Yeah. Dude, it's bad. I don't know. Why are you like not trying to make it sound like shit? It's not funny. It's just like kind of bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There was like this section with Scooby Doo, like, yo, it should be about the mystery, and like the joke should be that Shaggy eats food, and Velma loses her glasses. I'm like, that can't be it. That can't be it. That cannot be it. And it's supposed to be like this. It's it. So
yeah, these are, because I was thinking about that. I was like, there is so much more characterization to everybody in this show. On one hand, I personally think that really brings the show to life. On another hand, I can definitely see people that are fans of traditional Scooby-Doo being pretty frustrated because, especially in season 1, the characters are kind of shitty to one another. Like Scooby and Velma feuding over Shaggy, and then like Freddy is just kind of like such a dumb dickhead that he, doesn't understand Daphne's affection. Like I said to you when I was watching through like the back half of season 1, I just feel bad for Velma because it's just sort of like, she gets completely railroaded by fucking Scooby-Doo, and then there's like a whole episode where she's just so lonely that she, tries to befriend a mermaid and tries to like hide that from her other friends because she's like, no, I want to have like my friend. I don't want to be related to Mystery Incorporated. Just like a lot of things, she just seems like a lot more like Velma was always like, oh, she's the nice girl, she's kind of dorky or whatever. She's a lot more like depressing and cynical in this one compared to other versions of Velma.
I don't know if I would call her depressing or cynical. I think she's just very much oriented in like the things that she wants, Yeah.
I mean, I would say at least in like season 1, she's like very snarky and very like a little bit bitter about things around her. Definitely, like I think the writing kind of balances out more in season 2, but that's also when all the absolutely insane lore drops happen.
Look, so. I cannot in good conscience, and this is so mean to say, I cannot in good conscience give any Hanna-Barbera Scooby-Doo fan the time of fucking day.
Right.
I get it. Like if someone was like, oh, I don't like the way they characterize the characters here. I'm like, well, they characterize the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I like literally going back and watching those all Hanna-Barbera cartoons. They're not particularly good.
Mm-hmm.
Like even for the time period, they're not particularly good. Like, so like I was like, fuck you. Like I'm kind of meaner than you. I'm just like, fuck you. Like
that's the thing. Like, not that I think all children's shows need to be of the quality of like the absolute best stuff that was ever released at that time, but like 60s and 70s especially, like that was, it's not like that was like the most sanitized era for animation. There was underground stuff, there was stuff like Ralph Bakshi that existed that were, you know, so it's not like, oh, the only thing we had to watch as animation fans was Hanna-Barbera shows and like...
No, it was just slop. It was just slop.
Yeah.
Like it was literally just like this. Like when people make jokes like, haha, there's so many different Scooby Doo clones, right? That's so funny that most like, bro, a lot of them were made in house.
Yeah.
Like
it's like
they were making their slop. Like they were making their fucking like eat the fucking spoonful of these 3 kids and their fucking pet. Like, no, I don't want to. Yes, you do. Come here.
Yeah, it was like that, like Hanna-Barbera, you know, and then from them there's like Ruby Spears. There's other things like Filmation, who did like Fat Albert. There's like Patty Freeling. Just all these like animation studios I know of from that era that were just terrible. Like they just made maybe shows that were iconic, but you go back and watch them and it's like, Jesus Christ, this is dire. But you know, so it's cool to always see every so often that there is like we get Scooby Doo shows that do have some kind of life imbued into them. I mean, we talked about that with Zombie Island, and that extends to like the other like 3 movies that came out in that era. You know, maybe Cyber Ghost or whatever the fuck is less to an extent.
Cyber Chase, come on.
Yeah.
No, that's the gaming movie. Fuck you. That's the gamer movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to talk about the cast.
Yeah.
So we have Matthew Lillard as Shaggy here.
Yeah.
Which I think is fucking cool. My man did so good in those live action movies. That says, yo, do you want to lock in?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes, because he's great here as Shaggy.
Yep, William Afton himself as Shaggy.
I always come back. But yeah, it's so funny to see him here because then we have like, you know, Mindy Khan, who like is just always Velma from like most of these periods in time, actually, right? Like I'm not
yeah. She's her and Frank Welker. He's literally been Fred since the beginning.
And he shows out new skills here.
Yeah.
Frank Welker's been in some cartoons we've done, and he just hasn't been good. He's great here.
Yeah.
Like this, no one else can voice Fred Loki because he's like he brings such a new energy. You would think it's a young guy doing his voice.
Yeah.
Here.
I would say though,
it's so great.
His voice for Scooby Doo isn't great, but for Fred, it's still like it's just amazing. I can't believe how good he is still as Fred. You know, it's just that Scooby Doo has been done, you know, obviously, like, by better people in the past, so it feels like a little bit weird hearing, like, Frank Welker take on the role of Scooby Doo. But
like Fred is definitely like where he's at because like listen, what is it, like 30 years? Like it's crazy that he's like this good at it still. Like also he gives me all the vocals in, like the way he says traps in this. Also the way he says treasure.
Yeah.
I cannot stop thinking about it.
Yeah,
like,
there's like the fact that like there's serious scenes with him talking about treasure and he still pronounces it treasure. It's very funny. Like his dullard personality plus the like more punchy writing and like the animation style and everything like that, it feels like a lot of Venture Bros DNA found its way back into this, and like he's kind of Hank now, you know.
No, like it's so funny how we've like come around where like that show inspired by these shows and now has this show that's kind of vaguely inspired by those shows. Like it's so neat that this happened because like it felt like this script was written for Frank Welker to kind of show out, and I'm glad that happened. We all have Grey DeLisle as Daphne, who I think is a solid Daphne.
Yeah, she's a pretty
solid
like
Daphne.
And Daphne is like I find her. Maybe she's kind of the weakest of the mystery gang in general, but like I don't know, I find her role in the series like pretty charming as like the hopeless romantic, just because that's never really been done with Daphne, especially like thinking back again to the other thing that we covered with Zombie Island. They sort of made her a more independent woman. So like obviously like I can understand preferring that, and that's probably like the less sexist thing to do. But as far as like, oh, she's a teen at this point, in that movie she's an adult. So like they're still like teens or going to school, whatever. She kind of has, you want them to have a little bit of naivete and a little bit of room to grow. Yeah.
See, I would say Shaggy's probably the weakest for me, and I like Shaggy.
Yeah,
I think Shaggy just has way less going on.
Yeah, he's not a dynamic character, whereas like Daphne, like she gets a good arc, like end of season 1 through beginning of season 2. And same thing with like we were talking about that with Fred, where like he literally has the same arc as Hank does in the finale of the series going into the movie, of Venture Bros, of like, I'm leaving the team so that I can go and search for
my parents.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh, it's amazing. I wonder if, the like Jackson Public and Doc Hammer saw this at all and were maybe inspired by it to some degree. So I don't know.
Now, I do want to talk about how neat it is that even though we have a few new voice actors, how other people who voice Scooby and the gang throughout the years are throughout this show.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my favorite things about it. I love Cassie Kasem as Shaggy's dad. Yep. I love Linda Cardellini from the movies voicing Velma's love interest.
Yeah.
It's so neat to do that kind of. I think that's like one of the good things about having such a deep trove of like history is being able to do fun little stuff like that,
Yeah. And there's some amazing guest voices. I mean, the fact like I thought I misheard when I heard the name Harlan Ellison, but then when like I heard him talk, I'm like, that's fucking Am from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, the computer game. That's Harlan Ellison. So it was just like
also there's I'm glad to talk about it. There's a lot of voice actors here that are references and like stuff like that. I think it is I can't prove it, but it feels like another Venture Bros case. I had to bring it back to here where they were like thinking of a lot of books and TV shows and stuff that were maybe not the most appropriate things for a show like this, but they sure do. I think it's so neat. It's so neat. Like the fucking I Had No Mouth and I'm a Scream call out, the fucking Twin Peaks call out.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy in this show.
That's really when I started to be like, all right, this is like Venture Brothers. Like this is what, here, let's take this stupid reference to like this thing that we like and then turn it into something that's actually like kind of serious that you take. You're like, oh, fuck, where's this going? You start to get really invested in it. So like, yeah, having like a Twin Peaks reference in general, like this being set in one location. Like there's a lot of Twin Peaks vibes to it, and this was a couple years before. Like a fucked up location, this is a couple years before Gravity Falls. So this kind of did that style of show first.
I also feel like, and this is not me, I'm not done on Gravity Falls. I feel like this show also understands Twin Peaks better than Gravity Falls does.
I think so. I think it has a better. Okay, opinions on certain elements of it aside. The mystery is better structured because it feels like it is a mystery that is unraveling across both of the seasons.
Yes.
Whereas, like, I never really felt like there was. I felt when people were like, man, the story or whatever of Gravity Falls is so good. And again, I actually like Gravity Falls a lot. But the story of, like, who is the guy who wrote the journal is basically it. Like, that's the mystery, whereas, like, the idea of like where's all this weird stuff coming from? That's not a real mystery.
That's not a real mystery.
Who Bill is that's not a mystery. Like we never learn who he is. We just know he's some outer dimensional entity, that kind of thing. Whereas like this does a lot of the same plot points and has like a very similar ending where it's like, oh, giant eldritch monster comes and apocalypse, etc. But it feels. Even the like way they defeat it feels more logical than the way that like Bill is defeated at the end of Gravity Falls.
It's a layering thing. I think this show is so like the same way that like Twin Peaks is good. By the way, very funny. We decided to do this. I forgot we were watching this. I rewatched Fire Walk with Me.
Oh yeah.
But it's a layering thing. I think the issue with a lot of Gravity Falls stuff, and I don't want to get into it, is just like I feel like there's no layers to the mystery that's happening there. I feel like it relies a lot on fan theories to make layers, right? But when you watch like the first 10 episodes of this show, you have no fucking clue where it's going. You have no clue what the mystery is, who this is on the phone, what these things mean. And like that's the thing. You have like this base idea of like this town is weird, but like there's so much more stuff going on. And it's like a lot like, you know, Laura Palmer's death. Like who killed her? But that's not even the beginning of it, you know? Like that's like the end of it. You gotta find out other things like this. What the fuck is a Bob? Who killed her? Who's possessing it? Why was she killed? What's it like? What was her secret life? And that's the thing that's missing in Gravity Falls. There is no secret life to figure out about your victims or who you're looking into. But everyone has a secret life in Mystery Incorporated that makes it feel so fucking good. Fred's dad having like a bunch of stuff going on, like his real parents having a lot of stuff going on. Like that's what makes this thing feel so layered, as it feels like there's been a life lived here. In this city for decades. Yeah,
not again. Like even the Fred's dad thing. When I was watching Gravity Falls, I was 100% sure that there was the episode that at the end it reveals like Stan has a twin brother and he's back from the portal. But the whole episode is sort of leading you. The red herring of it is, what if he's an imposter, and like what if Stan isn't their real great uncle? He's just some random guy who like either killed or like inherited something related to their actual grand uncle. Is like, you know, he's an imposter basically. And I was like, oh, it's just like this. It's just like Mystery Incorporated with Fred's dad. And then that just turns out to not be the case. It's one of those things where like the red herring actually is just more interesting than because the idea of like, oh, you know, Fred is hurt at first, but he has to realize eventually that like, you know, as like his adoptive father did some bad things and lied to him and all this stuff, but he still was his father his entire life.
And that Fred's actual parents aren't perfect. They have a lot of issues. They're bad guys for most of the show, actually. But like, no, like I think also this show plays with morality in a way that isn't trusted for a lot of kid shows. A lot of characters ricochet from being good people to bad people. Like Fred's dad cares about him, right? But is also a selfish monster. Like, I think that's like so neat to think about. And I think like when you have a mystery show, it does you a disservice to make your villains, or even your allies in some cases, purely moral, good or bad characters.
Yeah.
Because like that's like the genre, you know, the genre of these mystery things is that, like, people do a lot of like good things or bad things. I will say, before we go any deeper, literally I forgot that, like, I know they had like a call out to the arm from Twin Peaks, right? Which is Michael J. Anderson's character.
Yeah.
I knew he was here as a dancing man in like Scooby Doo's Dreams. I didn't know Michael J. Anderson literally fucking voiced him. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, they were serious. Like,
yeah, they were not fucking around. They're like, this isn't going to be. This is for the 2%er. Either the parents watching this or the nerdy kid who has happened to watch Twin Peaks before watching this. You know, I know when I watched it, like, I hadn't seen Twin Peaks yet. It wasn't until, like, 2018 or whatever that I watched through that. So, I want to, speaking of villains, though, or speaking of morally great characters, Professor Pericles is just, like, one of my favorite parts of the whole show. Like, he's just a very entertaining, hammy villain, but he's also one where, like, he was just... like, he was twisted by bad things happening to him, you know? Like, it's one of those things where you, every time you see a flashback of him with the old Mystery Incorporated, he's adorable. So it's just, like, it's sad to see that he becomes, like, an evil Nazi.
Seeing Fred's dad slam a fucking poor parakeet's head into the ground is crazy. Yeah. I remember when I saw it, I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like he literally, like, bludgeons that poor bird into the ground and fuck up its eye. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
And he just, like, amazing voice by Udo Kier. And, like, I don't know. He's just like, he's a great villain, and he has like he really gets what's coming to him by the end. But it is sad to just see like, oh yeah, this guy, you know, he dies basically. Like so many people fucking die by the end of the show.
A lot of death in the show.
Yeah.
A lot of death in the show. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, like. This show's so fucking neat. It's so neat. It's so cool. I do also want to say, what was I gonna say? Shout out Jeffrey. Shout out fucking having the HP Lovecraft stand and be HP Hatecraft.
Yeah,
very funny.
Yeah,
joke.
that's so stupid.
Very funny joke. And having Jeffrey Combs voice him. Mm-hmm. God, it's just.
Oh, Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey goes like the reanimator call outs here. I don't know. It's just, this is a show that rewards you for being into horror if you watch it, and also rewards you for getting into horror after you watch this as a kid.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard to do. It's hard to like have that equal parts of that, and they do it, and it's just, I had a great fucking time. It was amazing.
It feels like it also doesn't disrespect. Like, I know that there was some degree of controversy with the show from other people who worked on Scooby Doo in the past. Like, I remember, Joe Ruby and whatever Spear, like those two guys, they were like, they didn't like the show because it was too cynical. I know even Derek J. Wyatt said that he didn't like the fact that there was a myth arc to the show where it ended up being like, oh, magic is real, monsters are real, whatever. Whereas like he preferred it to stay in the realm of reality. So like the show didn't come, it wasn't like an uncomplicated success. It did like ruffle some feathers for some people, and I can definitely understand why, because it does get to some like pretty insane places. Now I do like that they just swing for the fences and go where they go. I'm a little bit, about the fact that they go straight for the pseudo-archaeology.
Ancient alien bullshit.
Yeah, Anunnaki, like literally the Anunnaki are real and, created the pyramids, etc. But I do at least appreciate that, like, the root of the conflict is from, like it begins in, like, Maya and then goes from there. And, like, it gets caught up in this stuff with the conquistadors, and it's very, like, to me, like, that also feels very like It adjacent, with yes. Like, oh, there's this evil entity that has existed beneath this town. It attracts, the reason why bad things keep happening in this town, and why people are like
it is also very
is because of that. So
like very eldritch in the nature of that, like where like there's just a place that is like inherently evil. I will say So, like, I don't like the ancient alien stuff. I could just own that right now. However, for a show that is so, in a weird way, cynical about stuff like that, right? In a world and timeline where, like, this is the worst timeline where all the worst things are happening and the worst things are true, I think it almost works that way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I can, I was surprised by how little, like, I think I just don't like it on principle, but it didn't, like, take me out of the show to a degree that, like, I wasn't invested in where it was going. And I just think that it's, like, it's funny and, like, awesome that they're basically saying that, like, oh, Scooby, as well as all these other talking animal companions across the history of, like, Hanna-Barbera and, the previous generations of the Mystery Gang are all like descendants of the Anunnaki, so that's why they have like heightened intelligence and things like that, because they became the animals. That's just like, it's so funny that like Scooby is like, he's just the same guy, like he continues to be like this goofy dog, a friendly big dog, and then someone like Professor Pericles, he literally becomes like a crazy Nazi because of it, which to me, like, that is, that's connecting it to, like, Indiana Jones, but also, Indiana Jones, that was going off of, like, real Nazis who were obsessed with this kind of crazy pseudo-archaeology. So, like him
I will say,
yeah, go ahead.
I will say also, it's so weird watching this show again after the Secret Saturdays. There's
That's
a lot of similarities. Dude, it's weird.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this feels like they should have crossed over like a few times. I'm like, is this not kind of just the Secret Saturdays in a lot of ways?
Yeah.
Like season 2? I'm like, this is kind of wild.
Yeah, because, like Scooby being, Anunnaki or part Anunnaki, that's similar to like the main character being Kerr and stuff like that, and like this big like final showdown and everything. The Smarty
Eldritch being.
Yeah, the Smarty Pants villain like dies horribly. A lot of similarities between those. Oh, excuse me. I wanted to ask, is there any like new character or like a version of old characters or whatever that have been reinvented beyond the like main cast that
so I think they did such a great job crafting all the parents.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's such an overlooked part of the Scooby Doo mythos.
Yeah.
But having like them like crafting these new ones did such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
You can see how all the kids end up the way they do.
Yeah.
I will say, and this is my hot take, the Hex Girls looked really bad when they first appeared in those Scooby Doo movies.
Yeah.
I know everyone gets mad at me. They looked bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fucking weirdly skin toned, maybe ethnic one.
Right.
The shitty one with the ponytails. And when I tell you that, like, we woke up and we put our pussies into the redesigns, right. They look, I think saying 1,000 times cooler is a understatement. Yeah. They look 1 billion times cooler here. And I also think that, like, they're just, that, like, fucking Velma being, like, a hardcore moshing, screaming, I love the Hex Girl.
Yeah.
Like, listen, we saw there were signs that you were gay. So
yeah.
We saw signs.
No, that's another thing that I love about the show is because I, again, like, remember being on Tumblr around that time, and this was also like 2012, 2013. That was when a lot of the stuff with Adventure Time and like Princess Bubblegum and Marceline, like, are they actually gay? I remember being like kind of excited at the idea that cartoons for kids ostensibly were finally able to be like, oh, it's actually just fine to portray this stuff. And obviously with Velma, it's more subtext than it is text. Like, we haven't quite gotten to the point of it being able to not be subtext. And that was even the case with Princess Bubblegum and Marceline until like literally the end of that show. But
yeah,
but I was just like, oh, I was very happy about that, because I also did kind of feel like, as much as I like the show, it was very uncomfortable that they immediately started off with like, oh, Scooby and Velma, they're in a relationship. Or not Scooby, Jesus. Shaggy. And yeah, she's not fucking the dog. Scooby is mad about it, which is a little bit weird. That he's like jealous, like a jilted ex, And then, but like Shaggy, he just seems very uncomfortable about it. Velma seems like she's very like performative about it. And that was like, in the context of when it was first airing, without knowing where it was going, it was very like, kind of a bummer. But when you do know where it's going and
it's a Comphead story. It's a story about Comphead. Like, it's so crazy how performative Velma is in hindsight with her relationship with Shaggy. She's like, no, you got to be perfect. Got to be the perfect boyfriend, and I need to have the perfect boyfriend. I'm like, girl. Mm-hmm. The closet is see-through. Yeah. What are we doing here? I was like, hello. I think it's like, it's one of those like, you gotta trust the process. It's one of the, you gotta trust the process. Because I agree, it is weird. But then you're like, oh, okay, no, she's gay and she didn't know it. Yeah. Because like, what woman wakes up in the morning and goes, yo, you know who I want? Shaggy.
Yeah.
Like, what woman wakes up and does that? No offense to Shaggy.
Yeah.
But like, the only woman to ever want him is a literal alien. Like a literal alien. So go ahead.
Yeah, she just goes with them out of convenience because they're always together. They're all friends. Yeah. They're hanging out.
And Fred's like her brother, so Fred's like too close to her. You know.
And
treasure.
Yeah, of course, Daphne is already with him, so we don't need a love triangle situation going on. So,
Daphne and Fred get birth to some of them. Fred's like, "Hey, Daphne, I love you. Well, less than mysteries and less than traps." But I do love you. And I'm like,
you're in the top 5 for sure. Oh my God.
He loves you more than his parents, you know? My favorite thing is when Fred tried to pitch a polycule to everybody. That's my favorite episode. Like this, Velma, you're just coming at it from the wrong angle, you know? Well, you don't need to date Shaggy and have one relationship. We can all just have one big relationship with all 5 of us.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go. So we don't have to ever worry about individual relationships. And I'm like, you're born too early, Fred. Fred, you should have he, they pronouns.
Yeah.
And have 19 members of your polycule as you solve mysteries. This is what you deserve, Fred.
And he definitely, like, again, when we make the Hank comparisons, like, there are some things about him where it's like, I guess I do believe by the end that he is, like, oh, he's truly romantically invested in Daphne. But, like, he's so bad at picking up, like, romance cues or, like, any type of social cues that it's kind of like, you know, like, it puts me in a place where I'm thinking, like, was he written to be somebody that's, like, on the spectrum, you know, like the autism spectrum to some degree.
Okay.
Oh, no, yeah.
Like the ace to aromantic spectrum.
Right, that is true. That could be as well.
No, that is also just true. But yeah, I agree. I think that definitely is the case. Because he literally has a hyper fixation on traps.
Yeah.
You know, like he's where traps illustrated. The thing is though, he's so endearing. He's so endearing. Like I feel like him and Lausch from fucking Dungeon Meshi would vibe out so big. Like this, you love monsters, I love traps. I make traps to find the monsters, and they would just be best friends for like an hour.
Yeah,
and they would just like vibe out, and it'd be great. They even look similar. Their little blonde hair, like
very golden retriever energy. You know, from that like.
I also got to the episode where he went to like the college, and he gets sexually tortured, and he's just having the time of his life. I don't know. Did you see it? Like, hold on. Like,
no, I didn't. What's the
look at the screenshot, guys. For the screenshot, he's in his underwear, tied up by his hands, smiling as men around him cheer. It's so fucking funny. I think anytime Fred is on screen by himself, you're about to hear the funniest joke you've ever heard in your entire life. Like. It's so amazing. Hold on, my nose is good. Just give me. I gotta mute. I sneezed. Okay,
that's good.
But yeah, this show is so good. I think it really does like open up a world of like. I think last week or the week before, I said if anyone tries to rebirth a Hanna-Barbera cartoon from the 80s or 90s, or the 70s or 80s, I should kill them, right? And then we cover this show, and I'm like, well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was too harsh.
Yeah. What would you want to see? Like, what is something that comes to mind that you want to see? Nothing else? You're
literally nothing. I am so over old I say that, right? But also, the same niggas that, like, made this show, like some of the people that worked on the show, make the Looney Tunes show. That's really good. So
that's true. And I was going to say with... like, as far as Hanna-Barbera stuff goes, Jellystone did a good job of being, like, you know, it has, like, oh, this episode, it's about these 4 characters or whatever. So it would be, like, a small section of characters. So you get to see, like, basically a microcosm of a show about Jabberjaw. Or, we'll talk about Jellystone, of course, way later on.
I guess the thing is, though, do not let anyone revive old cartoons or cartoon characters unless it's Spike and Tony, who worked on this and also the later the Looney Tunes show, or C.H. Greenblatt or Toby Jones. I guess that's it. That's it. That's my thought process.
They're allowed to do
it.
The show. They're allowed to do it.
And no one else. If anyone else tries, I'm coming. Big hammers.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything? I guess like, is there any specific episode you want to shout out or anything like that before we wrap things up?
Oh man, there's so many. There's so many. I don't know. I think I do want to say this. I can't think of a specific episode, but I think the show like literally gets the Monster of the Week formula in a way that like I think motherfuckers who make shows weekly don't. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
And I think that they do a good job of having just enough little hints towards the myth arc while having, these episodes that just seem, they're very episodic. And even stuff like, the beginning of season 2 where Crystal Cove is being harassed by a baby clown monster is just like so fucking stupid that it's just like voiced by Mark Hamill. It's just very good. Where it's like the show never takes itself so seriously that it, or like by the time that it starts taking itself very seriously, you're very invested in what's going on. And I say this as somebody who like, I watched a lot of it in one night, but it wasn't like the whole show by far. I only watched maybe like a quarter of the show. But I was still like very especially like I basically like the last like 5 episodes. I was like, all right, let's just hit play and watch through those. After like watching a few from season 2, I was like, all right, I get the gist of the plot. I'm going to, get into this, and like, I was very invested in it. Like you said, I was thinking of Secret Saturdays the whole time. So
like the show was really good, and I was talking about it with Kathy, and Kathy's the one who got me into Twin Peaks. I was not into Twin Peaks until Kathy showed me it. Kathy, I'm like, I think me and Kathy are planning to just watch this show together, like after this episode's out, because I do want to show Kathy, because I think Kathy likes Twin Peaks and a lot of the horror stuff. Like, not like, I don't want to be a dick about horror movies right now.
Oh, please
like
do.
not like the schlock horror movies,
Right.
Like a lot of the stuff that's inspired by are like real movies.
Right.
That's so brutal. But I'm right. But like, so like I want to watch the show with Kathy, and I'm excited to do like a full rewatch where I don't skip any episodes. Like, I'm very excited for that.
I was kind of talking about that with Cody a couple days ago when we recorded Horror Hole, because we did the Black Phone movies, and which I think are good movies, but I was like, it never got to the point of something like Nope, where I'm like, this is like changing my brain chemistry as far as like, what an amazing movie that was, and even something like 28 Days Later, was like one where I'm like, this is a new favorite.
Can I ask your opinion? Do you prefer the Black Phone 1 or 2?
I think I prefer 2, but they're both, I don't know, they both have, I don't know, they complement each other, I guess. Like, I think I totally understand why people like the first one more, because it's just more real. But I tend to like the plot aspects and things that the second one does, even if it is kind of derivative of, like Stephen King and like
I will say,
Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff.
I don't like either particularly a lot. I don't think they're bad. I think they're fine. I think they are airing on FX right now at 3 o'clock in the afternoon movies, right? But like, I think truly my biggest, like, reason why you could never do a cartoon inspired by it is that I think the first one is kind of interesting, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the second one is so Marvel movie but horror slop.
I can see that.
Of like that, like I'm just like, I don't I'm like, even if this is technically like a better movie, this is so derivative of like, what should a horror movie be? I'm like, oh my god.
True. I was thinking of again, like we talked about it. So if you want to, probably the episode will be out at some point in the future. I was talking about Cody and I talking about both those movies, but like I didn't even bring this up when we were watching, but the ending of the second movie was like literally almost exactly the same as the ending of Welcome to Derry season 1 that Cody and I also watched, where it's like they're on like an icy lake and like there's a monster ghost thing and they have to like find a thing to stop him and defeat him and whatever. Whereas like, the first movie just ends where he gets the guy in a trap and like strangles him to death.
Breaks his fucking neck. Yeah. No, and I think that's like more visceral. I remember I said it before. I said, if someone tells me they're making a horror game, right? Mm-hmm. Or no, let's use specific example. If you tell me you're making a cartoon, you're like this, I want to make a cartoon for kids, and I'm inspired by Fire Walk with Me, I'm interested, right?
Yeah.
Because that's crazy. Those are different things. But if you tell me you're making a horror movie and you're inspired by Stephen King, I check out. Those aren't interesting inspirations. Like when someone goes, I want to make a heartfelt show about like, you know, making friends and stuff like that, and I'm inspired by Dragon Ball Z, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Hell yeah, that sounds awesome, right?
Yeah,
if you tell me I want to make a shonen battle manga inspired by Dragon Ball Z, I check out.
Yeah,
like,
that's.
I get that.
I understand what you're saying.
And I think that's like the issue with horror. That a lot of horror is being made by people who only like horror movies.
Right.
And I'm like, that's how you make bad fucking movies.
Horror thing. You know, it's like it was like YA fiction that's inspired by each other.
The Hunger
Games. It's inspired by Hunger Games. It's inspired by Twilight. It's inspired by Harry Potter. You know, it's just like whereas like. Say what you want about the quality of any of those stories.
But like
the people who made them were inspired by other things.
Yes.
And then brought them into their life, you know.
It's almost like incestuous and like it's making things not move forward with like the quality of like I remember so vividly like when I I want to write this thing that I'm like I want to make like a monster catching thing and I'm inspired by and I was like watching this when I was designing my my current Fabulous Ultimate game, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking about like Final Fantasy because of course, right? I was also watching motherfucking Succession. And wait, I'm inspired by Succession. Like inspired by like a corporate TV show to make a JRPG setting. It's crazy cool. Like I think that's like what you got to do sometimes. You got to step outside so you can actually make something interesting.
Yeah.
And I think this show's a perfect example of it. And I think like even if you have issues with like going away from Scooby Doo, I do think that's what makes this show work so well. Is that like they were coming at a kids show based on Scooby Doo from like a point that feels like it makes sense in hindsight, but at the time it's like, what the fuck are we talking about? It's cool.
Yeah, and you know what? Before we stop, like it should go without mentioning that like the aesthetic of this show is just gorgeous. Like it is just like it's so cool. The designs by Derek J. Wyatt. He's just like an amazing character designer. Literally every single one of them are so good. Like they're just like he's probably like up there with Akira Toriyama as far as like my favorite character designer.
I really want to like do a study and just try to recreate it because like every parent of the like we talked about the parents are so perfectly look like the kids but like themselves also. The way that he did the 5 main characters to look exactly like they did in the old shows but still be very drawn in the style of the show, it's crazy. What a great show.
It honors Iwao Takamoto, you know, the original character designer for a lot of that Hanna-Barbera stuff. And then like you get like the parents all look great, and then you get like there is a lot of that 60s 70s energy in there, you know, especially with a character like Angel Dynamite, who is, you know, she's definitely like cut from that cloth.
And voice of Vivica A. Fox, which is perfect casting.
Yeah, and it's just like it's very good. Like the show is just like, you know, again, I have some issues here and there with like elements of the story, just because they're things that I don't like in general. But I can't deny that like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Yeah, and it's a lot of good parts. So it's just like
I think everyone should watch this.
Yeah,
I think everyone should watch this at some point. This is a really good show. It's also like it got the ball rolling on the many lesbian relationships we will see on Cartoon Network shows. But yeah,
for sure. So big.
Anything else?
No, I think that will do it. I can't really think of anything else that I want to say about this other than the fact that you know we'll be coming back to Scooby Doo. Not soon, but the next show that we'll be doing is for Scooby Doo is Be Cool Scooby Doo, which is one that got a lot of shit at the time. I remember watching a few episodes on like the app and thinking they were pretty funny. So I guess we'll see if that still holds up. I just know it like a lot of people just know it as the show that kind of looks like Family Guy. Like that's the aesthetic. It's like, yeah, unfortunately, after how cool this show looked, going to that is just kind of a big downgrade visually, unfortunately. But you know, what are you gonna do? All right, where can we find you on the internet?
Hello, you can find me at Girl Next Vora on Tumblr. I talk about Vampire the Masquerade. Find me on Ultima Tabletop RPGs, mostly over there. You can also find me on Blue Sky. I talk about wrestling and the cartoons I'm watching currently for this podcast. I also talk about a lot of other shit. It's a lot of nonsense, a lot of bad posts. Like I think the last post I made that was bad was, hold on, let me get it so you show it over here. Yeah. Back shots sounding like John Taffer in a dirty, nasty bar. There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta find me on Blue Sky Girl Next Door. You gotta hurry up because soon a evil parakeet will be possessed by a eldritch abomination and destroy it. So you gotta get on that. Wyatt, where can we find you?
Oh, going over to Blue Sky at Wasp Ranger, WAZP Ranger. It's mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I do post about videos I'm making and podcasts I'm doing. I already talked about Horror Hole. Check that out on Cody's channel, Cody J. Briscoe. If you want to check out what I'm doing and you're somehow not on my channel, it's Only Magic. If you want to support me, the Patreon's also It's Only Magic. You can get the next episode, which will be our first episode of a couple talking about Adventure Time.
We're here, kids. We're here. Yeah, fucking behemoth.
So you can get on that. Right now, I'm not sure if it'll change by the time that we're actually recording it, but my plan right now is to do like 3 episodes talking about the show. So talking about like sections of the show, like different eras. So the first 4 seasons, that's kind of like the peak engagement era. Season like 5 and 6 are just, they're fucking super long for 1, and 2, they're, sort of the middle era where a lot of people were like falling off or growing sour to the show. And then like 7, 8, and 9 are kind of like these weird short seasons at the end that lasted until like 2018. And, just sort of like the ending of that. And then maybe one more episode to talk about the spin-offs, like Distant Lands and Fiona and Cake and stuff like that. Because it's just, the problem is Adventure Time is just literally one of the most important TV shows ever created.
Of all time, yeah.
So we kind of have to, we can't just do one episode where we're like, I think Marcelina's hot or whatever, and then just move on. We can't just throw out our opinions on it. We have to give it its due. It would feel wrong to just kind of skim over it in one episode. So.
A month. Black History Month will be given to Adventure Time.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I'm dreading it, but also I'm looking forward to it because I do think there's a lot of conversation to be had about the show that just isn't had on the online sphere. No show is steeped in more nostalgia than this, good or bad, either way.
Yeah.
I think there are like conversations just not being had about this show, and I'd like to have them. I never watched Fiona and Cake, so I'm looking forward to that. Kinda.
Yeah, and it will give us a chance to like jump ahead and talk about something that's like relevant now. Before going back.
I will say though, we're gonna have an issue because I am going to be the staunchest Finn hater on Earth. I'm a little fucker, but it's about to get rough. It's about to get rough.
So get excited for that. So you can get that first episode, boom, right now. If you're listening to this on the free feed, you'll be able to get that. Whereas, like, if you're listening to it on Patreon, thank you. Next week is Adventure Time. So join us then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.